Gaza used to have 36 hospitals. Now only 9 are functioning. And these 9 are struggling to provide treatment for over 35,000 wounded. And these patients with these wounds are at risk of losing their lives. These wounds are becoming infected every day as we speak. And there's a risk that these tens of thousands of wounded will die if the health system is not first rehabilitated and then its capacity increased.
I mean, give us a sense of what it was like day to day there when you were there.
We were so short of supplies, and the wounded were so overwhelming in terms of numbers that we were having to do procedures without anesthetic. I was forced to do dressing changes on massive wounds, excruciatingly painful wounds. There was a girl with just her whole body covered in shrapnel. She was 9. I ended up having to change and clean these wounds with no anesthetic and no analgesic. Managed to find some intravenous paracetamol to give her. And you know, her dad was crying, I was crying, and the poor child was screaming the place down.
I mean, you talk about a hospital system across Gaza that has essentially collapsed. Before that is rebuilt, a question we know that the Israelis have put to medical staff. You worked at Al-Shifa. There was a specific focus from the Israelis in their campaign that it was used as a base by Hamas. They showed footage which they claimed were tunnels operating under the hospital. They showed footage of weapons. They also made it pretty clear that staff must have known, in their view, what was going on. I just wonder what you would say to that, having worked at Al-Shifa.
So not only was I there on this war, but in previous wars. And in this war, as things started to collapse, I would go literally foraging for consumables, dressings from the different buildings that I thought had storage units in them, or some of the other operating rooms, so I could basically just get at the beginning of the day what I needed. And so I had complete access. You know, Shifa was a third world governmental hospital that looks no different than any other third world governmental hospital. But the question is, so if we put aside Shifa, why did they destroy the 4 children's hospital? Why did they destroy the cancer hospital? Why did they destroy Al-Ahli hospital?
And can I just finally ask you, given your commitment to Gaza, as you say, you've been there many times in terrible circumstances, what was it like for you coming out of there and leaving Gaza, leaving people behind?
It's you're overwhelmed with a sense of guilt, and you remember the patients that you weren't able to treat, and you remember the patients that still needed further treatment, and the colleagues that are left struggling. Even now, you kind of always remember those patients that you need, your patients. There's something about the way we're trained in this country. When we're trained as doctors in medical schools here and then in the NHS, which is called ownership, that they become your patients.
So very difficult for you to be watching from afar now.
Yes.
Dr. Ghassan Abu Sitta, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.